Hey guys, what's up? Cardfight here, and today I'm here with another deck profile, and this is going to be a dimensional Robo deck profile. Um, this, in my opinion, is probably my favorite build of the Dimensional Police. It's a really straightforward deck, and it's pretty consistent. So, yeah, let's get right into the deck profile. So for the starting Vanguard, we're running the new card. It is a generation break unit, so you will have to strike before you use this effect. And it's move this card into Soul and then choose one of your dimensional Robos and dimensional Robo Vanguards, and it gets I'm trying to get plus 4,000 power and a new skill. When this card attack hits the Vanguard, you may choose opponent's rear guard and retire it. So it's pretty much like a Die Magnum except with the extra skill added. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. He is not bad. Usually you won't get to hit with this effect because your opponent doesn't really want to lose a unit. Well, it depends on when you use it, but usually I do it along with my big plays. So yeah, grade 3s we run for true ultimate dimensional Robo Great Die Geyser, I think his name is. Yeah, he's a Legion unit for the deck, and his skill is when this card's in Legion, and your soul number of units with Dimensional Robo in your soul is 3 or more. This card gets an extra critical, and then his other skill is kind of lost one. When this card drive checks a grade 3, while your Legion mate is the critical is 2 or more, you can retire a unit in your opponent's Guardian Circle, and yeah, basically you can guard break if you drive check at grade 3 while your Legion mate is has 2 or more crit. So basically, when you're in limit break, you'll get the effect off when you drive check at grade 3. So there's that. Pretty good card. He gets the extra crit pretty easily, so you're pretty much swinging for extra crit, and you get the added on extra critical, the extra guard break chance when you drive to a grade 3. So that's playing mind games on your opponent. The opponent's like, oh, does he have a grade? Will he drive check a grade 3 or not? Yeah, that's really how you want to play the deck. You don't want to rely too much on the guard break, but the critical is pretty reliable. So yeah. Next we run 3 great Dayushas. Skill is Limit Break 4. When you have 3 or more dimensional robos in your soul, this card gets plus 2,000 power and extra critical. The critical does not actually add on to your attack because he's the mate. So yeah, but it does count towards the effect of the Great High Kaiser. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, if you're wondering, you don't get 3 crits, you get 2 crits, because people were wondering if you get the extra crit from this unit, but no, you don't. The critical from this unit does not count towards the critical in your actual attack. So yeah. And next we run 2 Kaisers. He's the break ride of the deck. Kind of must 1. When you ride a grade 3 or more dimensional Robo unit, it gets plus 10,000 power and an extra critical. And a new skill, when this card drive checks at grade 3, you may choose a unit in your opponent's Guardian Circle and retire it. So he combos along with this guy. So if you drive check at grade 3, you destroy 2 units in your opponent's Guardian Circle. So if your opponent throws in 2 perfect guards, they're both gone. I'm not sure if your opponent will actually throw in 2, because if they throw in 1 and it gets crushed, then you're pretty much GG already. But you know, yeah. The other skill is when this card's boosted, it gets plus 2,000 power, so it's a 13k attacker in the Vanguard circle. The only reason we're running 2 is because you don't actually want to rely on this card too much, but he is pretty handy if you get it off. So yeah. Also, he does not work with strides, so there's no point in running too many of this guy, but he's a nice addition to have. Grade 2s, rerun 4 of the Jet. He's a really handy card. Skill is once per turn, Generation Break 1, choose a grade 3 dimensional Robo in your drop zone and put it in your deck. And then choose one of your Vanguards that gets plus 4,000 power. Or you shuffle your deck, and then your opponent your deck gets plus 4,000. Your Vanguard gets plus 4,000 power and a new skill. Kind of lost 1. When this card attack hits, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. It's really the on-hit effect is really just a bonus. You just want to recycle your grade 3 units so you can drive eject him and guard crush. So yeah, it's a really good card. Yeah, he's really good at recycling grade 3s, so yeah. Next, we run 4 Die Dragons, the 12k attacker. Pretty self-explanatory, you know. 12k attackers are 12k attackers, so we're just going to run 12k attackers. And next, we're running 2 10k vanillas. Now, this is actually just a personal preference. I know people that like to run the Die Battler, I think his name is, the one that moves into Soul, and when kind of last one moves into Soul, and then when it hits, you can retire a unit. I don't actually like that unit, so I'm just gonna run these guys instead. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. He can help you. It's easier for you to guard against attacks early game if you ride into grade 2, cause you know, it's always nice to 10k guard attack for full guard when you're in grade 2. So yeah. Next, run 3 Die Tigers. He's a 10k attacker, and yeah, pretty self-explanatory. He's really there for the early game rush, and you know, he's not a bad card. We don't actually run the I'll talk about that later, but next we run 3 Die Brave. When this card skill is activates from the soul, move this card to the drop zone. When a dimensional Robo, alright, move this card away from the soul, and during this turn, your Vanguard gets a new skill. Kind of last 1. When this card attack hits, you may pay the cost if you do draw a card. So something like this, you remove him from soul, and if you hit, you can draw a card. So pretty self-explanatory. Only use this card when you really need to, cause you know, stuff. And only use it when you know you're gonna hit. So yeah, it does put that extra pressure, but it's nicer to remove this card from soul when you need to, because the main problem is usually you'll just have the right amount of soul if you don't break ride. So if you remove this from soul and you have this guy, then you won't have enough soul to get the extra crit. So unless you either have another card to put into soul, or you break ride, then you'll have the wrong amount of soul. Next, we run the Limit Break Enabler. Yeah, pretty self-explanatory. It allows you to break ride earlier, and it also lets you have his skill activate earlier if you manage to miss ride. So if you miss ride, then you still get the extra critical, which is not too bad, I guess. So yeah. Next, we run Commander Laurel. Pretty self-explanatory. He is pretty staple in Dimensional Robo decks now, so yeah, you should run Commander Laurels. Or Commander Laurel, because you can only run 1. Next, we run 4 of the Perfect Guards. Perfect Guards. He does not have the G effect, so you can use it to guard your rear guards if you need to. So yeah. Next, critical. Critical. You run 8 criticals. Yeah. So 8 crits, pretty self-explanatory. 4 draws and 4 heals. So yeah. I know some people that run 12 crit, which I do not really recommend, but it does have more explosive power. But I don't really recommend that. Alright, so some people might be wondering why I'm not running the Go Rescue engine, and that's because it's actually not that great, this format. Going into grade 3 first is not really a good thing in a Stride format because it lets your opponent use their Stride Persona Blasts earlier. And that might not be a good thing because you might die faster, especially against decks like Lambros and yeah, against decks like Lambros and Great Nature. Alright, so for the G Zone, I run 3 of the 99 Commander die Commander thing. Skill is once per turn, counter loss 2. Choose this guy in your G Zone and flip face up, and then you can from your deck search for a grade 3 and a grade 2 dimensional Robo and call them through a guard circle and then shuffle your deck. And if your G Zone has another one of this guy on another dimensional Robo in your G Zone, flip face up, then this card gets plus an extra critical. Now the only reason I'm running 3 is because normally I really just use this effect once, and you can't actually get the crit off the first time, so I'd rather run some extra cards in my G Zone instead. So yeah. Also, he is counter loss 2, and while this deck does not use counter loss that often, it's very likely that you won't get to use this effect more than once. So I'm running 3 for that sake, and yeah, I tried running 4, but I think running 3 is more optimal, because if you want to stride first and you don't want to use this guy, for example, if you are if you want to get the extra crit off, then you can just stride into Die Tiger first, and then flip one face up, and the next turn you can use this guy. For example, if you're playing something like Kagero and your stuff gets retired, then you can ride into the second, and then you get the criticals off. But if you just want to fill up your field earlier on in the game, then just use him first, and it doesn't matter if you don't get the extra critical. So next we run 2 Die Tigers. Really, you're going to probably use him for either the first stride, so that you can get this face up, or you're going to use him as the last stride, so you can get the extra critical off. It's really not a bad card. I think running 2 is okay. You can take one out for another one of this if you want, but it's, in my opinion, I think 2, 3 is pretty good. Next, I'm running Dark Superman Omega. This card wins games, especially if your opponent's not expecting it. Counter loss 2, soul loss 1 when this card is placed on the Vanguard circle. You pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your rear guards, move it into soul, and your opponent's front row loses power equal to the power moved into soul. So basically, your opponent is pretty boned if you put a grade 3 in your soul, for example, any of these guys. So if you have enough counter blast to do it, then you can use this guy's skill. If your grade 3 is still alive at the end of turn, then ride this, and then your opponent loses 11k, and he's going to have a hard time guarding. So yeah. Next, we're running 2 X Rogues. This card is mainly used to combo with what's his face, Commander Laurel. and he also helps you get hand advantage if you want. He does put pressure on your opponent because it does allow you to get an extra card, and your opponent does have to retire a unit. So it's a pretty good card. I'm running 2. You can take one of these out for a commander instead, but I like running 2 of these guys. They're really they come in really handy. So yeah, this is my deck profile for this deck. It's a really consistent deck actually. Like, if you don't expect to get his effect off every turn, or don't expect to get his effect off at all, just think of it as a bonus if you get his effect off. Because if you rely on it to win, then you're gonna have a hard time. But if you're just using it to scare your opponent, then it does its job pretty well. They throw in makes your opponent throw in extra guard that they wouldn't have normally. So yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!